nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
Shalom, y'all. Better get started. Talk about something pretty interesting here.
You hold the world in your hand. There's no error in you. Your perfection is consistent. I live to worship you. You're Yahuwah, the great I am. Yes, you are. The great I am, and you are more than enough for me. You are more than enough for me. You are more.
All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Some very interesting stuff that I'm going to get into, make it pretty short. But I know many of y'all saw what was going on the news about a month ago with the submersible. And just want to look at this real quick from an Israelite perspective. We talked about this as a tribe this past Shabbat. And it's going to be a while before I post that, so, and it's this kind of time sensitive, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it out right now with all of y'all. So much y'all, y'all. 1 second here. See if I can make this work here. There we go. So first of all, I want to give eternal honors to Yahuwah and Yahusha, the Saba Yahuwah and Adonai Yahusha. I want to give infinite honors to Melech Musha, Melech Yahusha. I want to give a double honors to Malka Chayil, Malka Yada. I want to give a double honors to Hagabir Malaka, Rosh Zaken Yitro, Rosh Ya'as, Zaken Yeshayahu. I want to give a double honors to all the Mushalim, the Ishas, and I want to give honors to all the second-tier leadership and the Zaken, Imayot. All praise to Yahuwah, Elu of Yisrael. All praise to the Most High. Told out Yahuwah and Yahusha. Told out to the Most High. So we're going to get right into it, y'all, because I'm not trying to be long at all. I'm trying to keep it pretty short and to the point. But basically, y'all, I know most of y'all saw what was going on in the news about a month ago with the submersible. They called it basically the Ocean Gate Titan. And it was a lot of stuff that was going on with this. It was all over the news. And basically, to summarize it, you had this thing that's called a submersible. It was supposed to be like a commercial expedition that anybody can go on. That's what they said. They said anybody can go on. All you got to do is have the money. I don't believe that, but that's what they said. This is for everybody. You just got to come, and it's $250K a head, $250K a seat. Y'all listen here, y'all. $250K a seat. All you got to do is have the money. Come on, come on. Did y'all see a commercial for that? That's the first thing I'm gonna add. Did y'all see? Did y'all know about it? Anybody know about this until after it hit the news when it was lost? Or was this something set apart for a specific people to jump on? For an elite group of people? Was this really for everybody? Let's say you had $250K and you wanted to go. You think you would have been able to go? I want to go. I got the money. I don't know, y'all. I doubt it. I'll just put it. I seriously doubt it. This was not for everybody. I don't believe that. That's why you ain't see no commercials. You ain't see no publications. No promotional things for this. This was for an elite group of people. This was for your top people, as far as billionaires and things like that. And so that's the first thing. They all got on, they jumped on, and the next thing you know, we didn't know nothing about it. This is the question to ask, Ms. Parker. Would we have even known anything about this at all if it didn't get lost? If they didn't get lost? Would we have known anything about this at all? It would have been nothing that nobody would have known about. I don't think this was designed for the masses to even know about, y'all. Not like that. So, this is another thing. Number one, they said this is for everybody. Anybody can go. All you got to do is have the money. Number two, they said the reason why they're going down there, they're going down there to look. They want to look at a piece of metal. That's the only reason why they're going down there. They want to look at the wreckage of the Titanic. That's what they said. That's the only reason why they went down there, huh? They want to see a piece of metal. About 100-year-old piece of metal. Different pieces of metal. They want to look at the propellers, right? That's what they want to do. They spent $250K to go look at some old propellers from 100 years ago. It got coral on it. Even though they got video of it, you can watch it on TV. They got a whole movie, that remake of the Titanic. They got all that. Now they wanted to pay $250K to go deep in the water, risk their life, and go look at the pieces of metal. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't believe that, man. That's wild to me, y'all. That's not true, y'all. I don't see that as being true. It's a lot deeper than that, Ms. Parker. And I know most people knew that, but we're going to talk a little bit about some things that I talked to the tribe about on Shabbat. And just, pray on it yourselves. Take it with a grain of salt. Feel free to comment on what you think. If you disagree, it's all through. But I'm pretty convinced. This is what's going on, and I'm going to get into that. We'll talk about why. So, man, one thing about the news, I think most of us agree with this, they're not interested in bringing no truth out. The news ain't never been interested about bringing no truth out. The news always been interested in pushing whatever propaganda that they supposed to push. We know that the news, especially mainstream news, they're in bed with the heads of the nation. So they're not going to put out nothing that the heads of the nation don't want to come out. When I mean the heads of the nation, I mean the governmental bodies, different things like that. That's just real. So this is another thing I want y'all to think about, y'all. This happened about a month ago. Now I want y'all to think about this. The submersible, it took flight on June, or it went. The expedition left and went into the waters on June 18th. June 18th. To my understanding, they lost contact with it shortly after, maybe a couple of hours later, is when they lost contact with it. This is June 18th. So by the time you got to Juneteenth is when it really hit the fan, when they really knew something was going, that there was a big issue, and then that's when it really, really blew up on the news. It was surrounding around Juneteenth, y'all. Y'all hear this? What is Juneteenth? What is Juneteenth? When y'all look at stuff that's going on in the world, know that almost nothing happens by chance. Know that almost nothing happens by chance. Nothing. All right, let's leave it at that. So, I just want to go through a couple of principles with y'all, and then we'll go from there. Again, I'm gonna try to keep this to the point. I really want to hear what y'all thoughts is, for real, because this stuff is wild, and I don't want to let it slide without diving into this, because it's kind of, out of the news now. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind for the majority now, because the reality is that they basically moving on to whatever the next thing on the news is now. But what I want to go into is colonialism. Real shortly. Now, colonialism, most of us know what it is. It's basically about the nations, the other nations, their quests to have dominion on the earth. This has been going on for, ever. Thousands of years. The other nations has always had this quest to have ultimate dominion on the earth. The other nations had always had this goal to exercise dominion on the earth, to be fruitful, to multiply, to have dominion on the earth, and to subdue it. Doesn't that ring a bell? Anybody ever read Genesis chapter 2, or what Yahuwah told Adam to do? Anybody ever read the story of Noah and what Yahuwah told Noah to do? Didn't Yahuwah tell Noah to be fruitful and to multiply on the earth? So basically, colonialism is the nation. So to be fruitful and to multiply and to subdue the earth and to have dominion on the earth was really something that was designated for Yahuwah's seed. That was supposed to be designated for the Kodesh seed. That was really not supposed to be the role of the other nations. See, when you got the holy seed moving with dominion on the earth, then righteousness reigns on the earth. Then you don't have the wickedness that you see happening every day happening anymore. That's why the earth is so wicked. The wrong people got dominion on the earth. The wrong people are in rulership right now. You see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. That's what colonialism was, is when the nations basically went and made the quest to have dominion on the earth. Now, we thought that colonialism was something that was pretty much discovered by the European nations. But really the colonialism, or what we would call colonialism, is really something that is really the other nations trying to be like Yahuwah. It's the other nations, especially modern time, the European powers, basically trying to be and be like Yahuwah. Because it was always prophesied that Yahuwah was going to set up a people to have dominion on the whole earth through Yahusha. That's all throughout the prophets. You see it foreshadowed in the Torah, and the list goes on and on. Even brought up again in the Brit Hadashah. So when you see what's happened over history, when the European powers came and they took over Africa, right? They split up Africa. They did all these different things to try to have dominion on the earth. They go across the earth and go conquering and conquering. They split up the languages. Isn't that what Yahuwah did? Think about the Tower of Babel. Isn't that what Yahuwah did? He split up the nation. He split up the languages. That's exactly what the other nations did through colonialism. They went, how come you can go to Africa today? You can go to Senegal and they speak French. You can go to Ghana and they speak English. You go to Guinea-Bissau in West Africa, they speak Portuguese. It's because the European powers went across there and they split up the languages. Yahuwah, during the Tower of Babel, he split up the languages of the nations to keep them from unifying. Due to the curses, the Most High allowed the other nations to split up our languages, which kept us from being able to unify across the four corners. Why do you think right now people from the Dominican Republic don't like Haitians? They don't get along with Haitians in general. There's always exceptions. I'm talking in general. The culture is Dominican people don't deal with Haitians, even though they came from the same people. Why do you think that so many people tried to unify the continent and it never happened? Because you got I don't know how many different languages there. Because the nations came and split up the languages. And Yahuwah actually, this was through Yahuwah actually did it as well. But on top of that, the nations came and did the same thing, trying to be like Yahuwah. They come and they establish their customs in different lands. They establish their allures in different lands. They come and they establish their principles and their languages throughout the earth. Where do you think they got that from? That's them trying to be like Yahuwah. That's them trying to be like Yahuwah. And so the reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is because colonialism is about, most of y'all went to public school, I know. And in public school, what did we learn about? We learned about the great explorers, right? Christopher Columbus was a great guy. He went and he sailed the seas to explore, and he discovered America. He discovered all these lands. How do you think Christopher, now we know now the reality, the truth about Christopher Columbus, that he actually was wicked and he went out to conquering and to conquer. And he was actually, how do you think those ships were funded that Christopher Columbus was on? How was he funded? He was funded by the government that he was under. Ferdinand Magellan, he explored the world. Great explorers. These guys were going and setting sail so they can take land and exploit it and colonize. That's what they were doing, y'all. A lot of them were being paid by their governments from the nations they were under, European powers, to go and explore new lands that they can go and inhabit and colonize and plunder and exploit. Their quest to do these things was from them trying to be like Yahuwah, and it's really because they were in covenant with the marine kingdom. These nations were in covenant with Hasatan. They were in covenant with the marine kingdom. And we know that if you look in Ezekiel, Hasatan said that he wanted to be like the Most High. He said he would exalt himself above the stars, which means he would basically exalt himself above the Kodesh people of Yahuwah. Isaiah 14, verse 12. Isaiah 14, verse 12. Start with verse 12. How you are fallen from the Shamaim, O Lucifer, son of the Boker, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, You who weakened the nations. For you have said in your heart, now listen here, y'all, this is what I was looking for. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into the Shamaim. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Alua. Who are the stars of Alua? It's the children of Israel. It's the children of Israel. Go back to Genesis in a dream that Joseph had about his brothers. He said, the sun, moon, and the 11 stars bow down to me. Who were the 11 stars? Those were his brothers who were the progenitors of the nation of Israel. Those were his 11 brothers. Who were the, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Patriarchs, yeah, of the nation of Israel. Verse 13, for you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Alua. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That was Hasatan's mind, y'all. He said, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. That goes back to Babel, which is basically just Babylon. It's short for Babylon. That goes back to Babel, y'all, the Tower of Babel. Again, I'm trying to skim through this so I won't be long. So I'm just going to tell y'all, but y'all can read this on your own in Genesis chapter 11. In the Tower of Babel, what did Yahuwah do? What did the nations do? First of all, the nations came together and made an agreement with each other to build a tower to the Shamaim. What did Hasatan say in Isaiah 14? He said, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. In chapter 12, in chapter 13, he said, for you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. What did the nations try to do with the Tower of Babel? They tried to build a tower that shot up into heaven. Now y'all see why the Most High was angry about that? It's because through their leader, Nimrod, they went back into covenant with the marine kingdom, which basically means they went into covenant with Hasatan. The Tower of Babel happened right after the flood of Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark ended in Genesis 9. Then you have Genesis 10 that goes through the nations, the table of nations, the descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And in Genesis 11, it goes right into the Tower of Babel. So you're talking, no one knows exactly how long, but it wasn't more than a few hundred years later. You had after the flood, you have the Tower of Babel, maybe a few generations later. Y'all will get why I'm bringing this up, y'all. Y'all will understand what I'm saying. Matter of fact, I'm going to just say it right now, and then I'll go more into this. So the Tower of Babel, I'll submit to y'all, was the nation's way of trying to build an ark. The Tower of Babel, let me repeat, was the nation's way of trying to build an ark. What was the ark? The ark was a way to, it was something that you build in order to be preserved from Yahuwah's judgments that he's going to roll out on the earth. That's what the ark is. That's what it symbolizes. The ark is the way to be able to get away or be preserved from the judgments that Yahuwah will roll out on the earth. The ark of Yahuwah told Noah to build. He told Noah to build that ark. So Noah built the ark, and once he built it, he was preserved from the judgment. Now listen to this, y'all. Think about this. Let's go back to the submersible. So Noah's ark, it had a big door. The door was so heavy that Noah did not close the door. Yahuwah closed the door of the ark. Noah did not close the door of the ark. Yahuwah closed the door of the ark, y'all. What did they say about the submersible? They said that they were not able to close the door from the inside, were they? Somebody had to come and close the door for them from the outside. When the ark landed, basically Yahuwah opened the door for Noah when it was time when it was time to get out. Yahuwah opened the door for them, and then they got out. With the Ocean Gate submersible, they were not able to open the door to get out themselves. They had to have somebody to open it for them and to close it for them. Y'all, listen. The submersible was the nation's attempt to build an ark. I'm going to go ahead and give it away. The submersible was the nation's attempt to build an ark, y'all. Y'all, listen, y'all, all throughout the scriptures, I posted a lesson on this, a teaching I did on this, maybe, I got to look it up, man. It was about roughly a month or two ago, maybe 2 to 3 months ago, about how there's these things. Yahuwah had showed this pattern where, for example, I'll give you an example. Moshe, when he was a baby, when he was born, his mama put him in an ark. It said an ark of bulrushes. And because of that, no water got into the ark. It was made of bulrushes, and he was preserved from a judgment that was happening. It was a major judgment that the Most High, arguably the Most High was rolling out, or it was a judgment happening. It was a major calamity happening. Let's just put it that way, because I know that's arguable whether the judgment was coming from Yahuwah or whether it was just the nations being wicked. It could be both. But we'll just stay out of that since it's not clear. We'll just say major calamity was happening. Many children were dying. The Pharaoh had set a decree for all the boys to be killed when they were born. But Moshe was preserved from that because he was what? On the ark. Y'all get what I'm saying? Listen to this. Listen to this pattern. This was all throughout the scriptures. Joseph, his brothers wanted to kill him. Wanted to kill him. So Joseph, when you look at it, he was supposed to be killed, but what happened was instead he was put in a cistern, and the scriptures specifically say, but there was no water in it. There was no water in it. So because of that, Joseph was preserved from being killed. He was put in a cistern, and that preserved him from being killed, in a sense. The same thing happened with Prophet Yirmiyahu. The judgments rolled out from Babylon. Babylon sacked Jerusalem. But at the time, Yirmiyahu, or the prophet Jeremiah, was thrown in a pit. Said it had no water in it. It's a peor, or peir is the same word that's similar to a well. It was like a pit. And again, even though that was messed up, that he had to go through that, he was preserved from being killed, though. Because during that time, Babylon went and killed everybody. They sacked Jerusalem. And then he was pulled out after all the smoke cleared, and then he got out and survived. The same thing happened to the Apostle Paul, Apostle Shaul in the Brit Hadashah. He was lowered into a pit. They had lowered him into like a cistern, and then he was saved from being killed. He was preserved from being killed. So there's a pattern you see all throughout the scriptures of similar things happening. And then you had the biggest example is Noah with Noah's Ark. How he went into that ark and was preserved from the judgments. There's many other examples other than what I just mentioned. But I'm just going off of memory right now because we're going to move on. All praises to Yahuwah. So the point being is that the submersible, they were not just going down there to look at metal. That's the point. I submit to y'all, they were not just going down there to look at some old boat. I'm not saying that they didn't go down there where it was at. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying, that was not the intention. That was not what it was about. Way deeper than that, y'all. Way more to the story. Think about it, y'all. Remember the race to space? I know that's super controversial. I know most people don't believe that they ever went to space and all that, and that's neither here nor there, whether it really happened or not. That's neither here nor there. But the point is that we know that the nations, since the 60s, has invested billions and billions of dollars to try to go to the moon, to try to go to space. Billions, y'all. We're down here in Texas, man. There's a major NASA facility down in Clear Lake, down there outside of Houston. And when I tell you it's real, it's a real place, y'all, that they are spending, the government, your taxpayer money, spending billions of dollars in research and all that stuff just to maintain that thing. Just to maintain that thing. So what it at least is showing is that they trying to get up there. They may not have really have done it yet, or they may have. Nobody knows for sure. You know, most people don't believe they did, and I understand why. But the point is they're trying, though. Why do you think they're trying to go to space? Let's ask that question. Why are they trying so hard to go to the moon? Because they really are trying. They wouldn't invest that much money in just trying to do a hoax. They don't need to spend billions of dollars to do some Photoshop on the video. They don't need to spend billions of dollars to do that. Oh, no, it's way more to the story than that. They're really trying to get out there, and it's because they're building an ark. They're trying to build an ark to escape the judgment that they know is coming on this earth, y'all. Y'all don't think they know these prophecies? Y'all don't think that they know that Yahuwah is about to judge them and judge the nations and judge the earth? Y'all crazy if y'all don't think the nations don't know this stuff. Don't the scriptures say that Hasatan knows that he has a short time? Aren't the nations in covenant with Hasatan? You don't think Hasatan has showed them that they have but a short time and that they're going to have to do something or else they're going to be destroyed? You crazy if you don't think they know this stuff, y'all. They know all that. And that's why I submit why there's been such a big race to the moon or attempts to race to the moon since the 60s. Why they've been pouring in all the money that they can to try to figure out how to do that. Because they're still trying to colonize things. Them colonizing the earth was their way of trying to escape judgment. It is. And now that they done filled up the whole earth, a big majority of it, they don't really have too much earth left to try to colonize, to try to stay and try to survive. Now they're looking elsewhere. It's about them building an ark. It's about them trying to build a tower to the Shamayim. Them trying to go to space was just like the Tower of Babel with them trying to build a tower to the Shamayim. They just trying to fly to the Shamayim because they want to colonize other parts. They want to see if they can try to divert the judgment that's coming on the earth. Trying to tell y'all this stuff ain't no joke. So let's take a look at some things about the submersible. Let's look at who actually was on that submersible. We know that they were billionaires that were on the submersible. Anybody wasn't just on there. It wasn't just anybody on there. These were very specific types of people that were on there. So let's take a look at this. This was from NBC News on their website. It's just going through the people that were on the submersible. And, we know that people most likely died on the submersible. And so I definitely don't want to come off as in any kind of way as being insensitive to people being killed. I think somebody was pretty young who died and stuff like that. I'm just focusing on basically, what's really going on. It's not my goal to try to get into things like that surrounding that aspect of it. So let's just look at the people that were on the boat, on the submersible, so we can get to what's really going on as far as the truth. All right. It says, all right, this is from NBCnews.com. They set off hoping for a rare glimpse of a storied wreck, but now find themselves at the center of their own dramatic tale at sea. A British billionaire and a prominent Pakistani businessman and his son are among the 5 people rescue crews are racing to find on board a submersible with a rapidly dwindling air supply in the North Atlantic. OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush was also on the vessel, a spokesperson confirmed Tuesday, as well as French diver Paul-Henri Nagiolais, his family said. All right, now let's look at who these people are. The vessel vanished Sunday during a dive to explore the wreck of the Titanic, part of a tour offering explorers the opportunity to see the site up close. Now, who are explorers? They're already giving away a lot of stuff. Explorers were basically people who, all throughout history, were trying to find uncharted area to colonize, to conquer, to take over. That's what explorers are. So what do you think they were really doing with this? This was an attempt to go to the unknown parts of the earth, which is in the deepest parts of the ocean. Those are some of the most uncharted, unknown parts of the world. Is the deepest parts of the ocean. And they're trying to see what they can do to subvert the judgment that's coming on the earth. I'm telling y'all, especially the rich, the billionaires, they are planning. The billionaires, they already are building stuff in the cleft of the rocks. They're building, I forgot what they call those things that are underground bunkers. They're building bunkers that go deep underground. They're doing things because they know that judgment is coming on the earth. They're trying to build an ark. But I'm telling y'all, Yahuwah knows exactly what's going on, and nothing's going to work. The only thing that's going to work for any of them is by repenting and turning to the law, statutes, and commandments and ruaching in truth and joining Israel by serving Yahuwah. But the nations don't want to do that. They're not going to submit to Yahuwah. So they think they can somehow run away from Yahuwah, that they can somehow, in their own power, buy their way into the ark. You're not going to be able to buy your way into the ark, fam. You're not going to be able to do that. So these are billionaires. It said the vessel vanished Sunday during the dive to explore the wreck of the Titanic. Part of the tour offering explorers the opportunity to see the site up close for a significant sum. The submersible called Titan. The submersible was called Titan, y'all. Y'all know what Titan is? Titan was an allure from Greco-Roman. That was a Greco-Roman allure. They were called Titans. Y'all ever heard like Clash of the Titans and different things like that? Those were allures that the other nations served, that European nations served, especially like the Greeks and the Romans. And that's what they called this so-called, I submit to y'all, it's an ark. It was an ark that they tried to make. It was called Titan. It was on only its third trip since Ocean Gate Expeditions began offering trips in 2021. British billionaire and adventurer Hamish Hardin was among the 5 people on the vessel. In a photo captured before Sunday's dive, Hardin could be seen looking out from a vessel in a uniform with a badge that says Titanic Expedition Crew. Hardin's company, Action Aviation, says on its website that it was established in 2004, operating as a global sales company in business aviation. A post Sunday on the billionaire's Instagram account said he was joining Ocean Gate's expedition as a mission specialist, typically a one-time crew member who pays a fee to join the effort. Due to the worst winter in Newfoundland in 40 years, this mission is likely to be the first and only manned mission to the Titanic in 2023. Hardin said in his post, he said that a weather window had just opened up and that the team was going to attempt to dive the following day. Until then, we have a lot of preparations and briefings to do. He said Hardin, who lives in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates, holds 3 Guinness World Records, including the longest duration at full ocean depth by a crewed vessel. In March 2021, he and ocean explorer Victor Vescovo dived to the lowest depth of the Mariana Trench. So he done this stuff before. Now look at this, y'all. In June 2022, this was just a year before this happened. In June 2022, he went into space. Y'all, listen, y'all. In June 2022, he went into space on Blue Origin's New Shepard rockets, according to the Associated Press. So according to the news, this dude, y'all, listen, y'all. According to the news, this dude went to space just last year in June 2022. Who heard about that? Who heard about any billionaires getting on rockets and flying and going to space? He had dived to the lowest depths of in the waters before. He won Guinness World Records for doing these things. Y'all, this ain't just somebody who had a lot of money who was on this Titan. This is somebody who has a history of trying to find trying to explore, trying to find ways to divert judgment from Yahuwah, trying to go to space, trying to go into the deepest parts of the ocean. He's an explorer. He's another Christopher Columbus, y'all. He's another Ferdinand Magellan. He's trying to find new areas that they maybe can escape what's coming to this earth. That's who was on this. That's what's proving what I'm trying to say. Now look at who else was on there. We'll probably just go into the second person and leave it at that. Prominent Pakistani businessman Shahzada. Now look what his name is, y'all. Listen here, y'all. His name is Dawood. What? Prominent Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood. What? Come on, man. Y'all know we can't make this up. His last name is Dawood, y'all. 48. And his son, Suleiman Dawood, 19. And if y'all don't know, Dawood is also the Hebrew name for King David. That Dawood is the Hebrew name for, the Hebrew name for pronunciation for King David. It would be Melech Dawood. They were also identified as being on board the vessel by family and by one of Dawood's businesses. We are very grateful for the concern being shown by our colleagues and friends and would like to request everyone to pray for their safety while granting the family privacy at this time. The family is well looked after and are praying to their allure, I'll just say that, for the safe return of their family members. The family said we at Ingro remain in prayer for their swift and safe return and will share any updates we may have as and when they come. Ingro, the company where Dawood served as vice chairman of the firm's board, said the father and son, who are both British citizens, belong to one of Pakistan's most prominent families. Their firm invests in agriculture, industries, and the health sector, while Shahzada Dawood is also on the board of trustees for the California-based SETI Institute, which searches for, y'all listen to this, y'all. Come on, y'all. Which searches for what? Extraterrestrial intelligence. What? These are the people that was on this submersible. But y'all thought they went over there to go look at metal. Y'all thought they went on there to go look at propellers. Go look at the old 100-year-old metal at the bottom of the water to try to see the coral on there and go back up. They paid $250K to do that, huh? They paid $250,000 to go down there and see a ship that they can see on TV. Come on, y'all. If y'all believe that, man, I got some oxygen I can sell you. $29.99, fresh oxygen in a cup. Just open the cap and you got oxygen, $29.99. If y'all believe that. Man, all right, let's keep going. So, but let's bring down the home. That's a third point, Carlton. Solomon. Oh, snap. Solomon Dawood. Oh, man, y'all are, that's wild. They literally own a company called the SETI Institute, which searches for extraterrestrial intelligence. And if I remember right, SETI that has something to do with Egypt. That's a common Egyptian name, like from Mitzrayim. But he's on the board of trustees for a company that searches for extraterrestrial intelligence. What does that tell y'all? These are not just regular people with a lot of money. These are people who he probably be in contact with ruachs. That's what this is. This is what this is saying. Like these dudes probably was talking to other beings. That's what an extraterrestrial intelligence is all about. Ain't no such thing as no aliens. Those are ruachs. Those are other spirits that are giving them information and giving them intelligence. This is how the nations had so much information. How do you think the nations learned how to do things like develop airplanes that fly? How do you think the nations were able to do things like develop things like weapons of mass destruction like an atom bomb? That came from the fallen ones, or what they would call extraterrestrial intelligence. I know this sounds wild, y'all, but this stuff is real. This stuff is real. They trying to connect, exactly, Carlton, you right on it. That's what they trying to do. He has a whole company surrounded around it. These are the people that were on the submersible. All right, we're gonna go, and I'm gonna look at the third person, and then we'll stop there and keep it moving. But he goes into he was married to. All right. Yeah, let's look at the French diver. So also the French diver Paul Henry Nagiolais was on the vessel. His stepson, John Nathaniel Pascal, confirmed Tuesday. Nagiolais' family declined to make any additional statement about the situation. Nagiolais, who is known by some as Mr. Titanic, is the director of underwater research at the Experiential Media Group, which creates museum-quality exhibitions around the world, according to its website. He is considered a leading authority on the Titanic wreckage. According to a biography on the site, Nagiolais has led several expeditions to the Titanic wreckage site, completing at least 35 dives in submersibles and supervising the recovery of at least 5,000 artifacts, including the recovery of the big piece, a 20-ton section of the Titanic's hull, according to the biography. What is this telling you? Let me tell y'all something, y'all. Listen, I know that the news is acting like they were so dumb for going on that submersible and going down there. Let me tell y'all something. These billionaires and these people, if they didn't know that it was perfectly safe to do that, they wouldn't have done it. Y'all, it was very, very low risk. That was, y'all, let me tell y'all something, y'all. Man, I know this is deep. That thing wasn't supposed to bust like that. That wasn't supposed to happen. That thing wasn't supposed to happen like that. Y'all, these are the dude, the diver, he done went on at least 35 trips in submersibles, y'all. And he looked at it and thought it was through. He saw it was safe and he went on that one. This was not normal. That was not supposed to happen, y'all. That was way out of the ordinary. When you're talking about those type of people being on board that, you don't think they did put everything in place to make sure that wasn't nothing going to happen to them? It was so safe. It was so secure that even the CEO of the company went on there as well. He had no worries. I know people making fun of it. The news is acting like, oh, it's because they use carbon fiber. That's why. Y'all don't believe that. Y'all know this was the third time that thing went down there. That thing went down there before, but if it was the carbon fiber, how come it didn't bust like that before, the first two times? That was the third time that specific one went down there. Now, y'all, this wasn't supposed to happen. That's what they not talking about on the news. That's beyond normal. Beyond normal. But we're gonna look into that a little bit too. All right. All right. Let's see here if I should read any of this. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Just going into some more information surrounding those who are on the ship. Let's see. So basically, to drive the point home, they were looking into ways to dodge the judgment that they knew is coming. It's just like the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was Babylon trying to build an ark. That's what it was. The whole race to space was Babylon trying to build an ark. They've been trying to do that forever. Now they are looking below to see if there's a way they can escape the judgment by going below into the water. They've been trying to find out ways to go into space forever, and it hasn't been working. So now they've been trying to find out ways to go in the ocean. Going that deep in the ocean like that, to go as deep as you can, is basically like going to space. It's similar. It's not on the same level, but it's similar. and that they're trying. It's the unknown. It's the uncharted territory. It's an opportunity for them to maybe be able to start over and recolonize some other areas and have some dominion in other areas. They're trying to do like they want to be Yahuwah, y'all. They want to be like Alua. Yahuwah created the heavens, the earth, the seas, and everything in it. Yahuwah has dominion over the heavens, the seas, and the earth. That's what they're trying to do. Why are they going to space? They want dominion over in the heavens. Why are they trying to keep going deep in the water? They want to have dominion over the seas. And you already know that they already believe that they have dominion over the earth. And they do in a sense. The earth has been given over to the nations for a time. But we know that time is up. We know that. Here's some other things here that's going on. If y'all ever Google or look up Seasteading, this is just showing y'all this stuff is real. You already had the other nations. They're working pretty hard to try and basically they're going into the middle of the ocean and trying to build like cities in uncharted areas of the ocean. It's called Seasteading. Y'all look it up whenever you get time. But it's just showing you what's going on as far as how real this is. They want dominion over the seas as well. It's about the marine kingdom, y'all. It's about the marine kingdom and having dominion. But the Most High has turned over the captivity of Israel. And so he's not allowing it to fly. It's not going to happen. Because Yahuwah is the lure of the universe. He's the one who created the heavens, the seas, and earth, and everything in it. And it's him who has the dominion, which he has given over to his people, not to the nations, but to his nation, the kingdom of the Shamayim, the kingdom of heaven. I'm not going to get into all that about Shamayim, but Shamayim basically just means to press the water or have dominion over the waters. That's what the word means, y'all. It's about having dominion over the marine kingdom, y'all. Dominion over the marine kingdom. Y'all take a look at this.
Why do governments get better at all? In the Middle Ages, the feudal system dominated Europe. Kings, lords, and armed mercenaries plundered peasants who often starved. Few imagined that better government was possible. But how did it get better? A small group of persecuted refugees fled to a marsh and founded a society on shaky ground. This startup city was based not on kings and killing, but merchants and markets. The Serene Republic of Venice, as it was then called, came to dominate the Mediterranean for 1,000 years, setting a model that changed the world forever. Venetian entrepreneurs adopted the best practices of Western Europe, the Byzantine Empire, and the Islamic world, and advanced many of the foundational institutions of modern free enterprise: international banking, insurance, joint stock companies, even double-entry bookkeeping. Venice produced so much wealth. Some of the most creative people in the world moved there and initiated what became known as the Italian Renaissance. The people of the marsh got a rare opportunity to start over with a blank slate. In spite of all their moral failings, torture, assassination, astounding greed, mankind began to emerge from barbarism and develop the principles of civil society. Blank slates are hard to come by, but the search for new frontiers never stopped. A few centuries later, 17th century Europe became an oppressive place for all sorts of misfit people. Many of these oddballs fled to the New World, bringing with them their zany ideas, among them that people should govern themselves by vote. The misfits demonstrated that the naive utopian ideals of democracy and constitutional republics could work better than the kingdoms that prevailed in Europe. There were true faults: genocide, slavery, child abuse. But the startup societies in North America created innovations that utterly changed the rest of the world. Centuries later, authoritarian communism came to dominate a third of the human population. Millions of people starved, and millions more were murdered, but the people in power didn't want to change. So why did it change? Communism didn't fall because opponents won a war or a debate. Communism fell because freedom set a better example than everybody in communist countries could see. The free black market worked better than the controlled legal market. And most communists just didn't believe in their system anymore. It wasn't just because of nuclear bombs or politicians saying, tear down this wall. It was blue jeans and the Beatles that caused communism to fall. Freedom was just more fun and produced better stuff. Free markets worked better than force, and everybody could see it. If people hadn't tried new arrangements in North America, would there even be a free world to show people in communist countries a better way? So we know what makes governments better. Alternatives, options, a chance to step away, try something new, and see if you can attract people to move there. The more experiments, the more surprising solutions and shocking failures we discover. As long as people have the freedom to leave experiments they don't like and choose the ones they do, the bad ideas go bankrupt and the good ideas change the world. What if I told you there's a technology for that? Nearly half the world's surface is unclaimed by any country. Bob Ballard, the famous ocean explorer who discovered the sunken Titanic.
Y'all keep that in mind with Bob Ballard, y'all, because we're going to look at him too.
Says the technology for floating societies is at hand. Seasteading seeks to radically accelerate the means by which people experiment with new societies. As long as people can create seasteads voluntarily, join them voluntarily, and, most crucially, quit them voluntarily, a diverse market of governance providers will emerge. Floating neighborhoods can disassemble and move about like a jigsaw puzzle, increasing the power of governance consumers to choose new societies, and creating the incentives for governance providers to innovate to please residents. This will rapidly increase the rate of peaceful innovation in governance. We land folk are stuck in a dark ages of government. We need our Venice. We need 1,000 Venices. Half the earth waits for us to demonstrate better societies can work. Long before we go to Mars, we're going to populate the ocean with sustainable startup societies. As the Renaissance artist Michelangelo said, criticize by creating. To learn more about this bright future, go to seasteading.org and read Seasteading, How Floating Nations Will Restore the Environment.
Test. All right, so basically y'all saw what that was all about, y'all. They're trying to divert the judgment from the Most High. They know that the nations are doomed, and so they're trying to find ways to build an ark. So they're looking at building these floating cities. Perhaps then they can escape the doom that's coming to the nations. Because part of the doom is nation going against nation. Part of that is the wars and rumors of wars, right? Maybe we can escape that by building floating cities, by just living in the middle of the ocean on the surface, by building floating cities. Y'all, this stuff ain't, man. They exploring and they're trying to have some sort of dominion even on the waters. Mishpaka. Just like Yahuwah has his people building an ark, the other nations are trying to build an ark as well. They are. Let's take a look at so he had referenced Bob Ballard in that video. So I want to take a look at him real quick because what he says here is very interesting. This was about seasteading, but you see how it's connected with the Bob Ballard he's touted to be the first one to went on the first expedition that quote unquote discovered the Titanic wreckage. That's who he is. He's known to be the first one to discover that. So that's who they quoted. when it came to, surrounding some stuff surrounding the seasteading in the oceans. So it's showing you even the mind behind him, the first person who found it. It's about building an ark. Let's take a look.
Enrich the poor.
Not all of this. Bob Ballard, a renowned oceanographer and explorer, is joining us right now. Bob, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. I understand, obviously you were part of the mission that discovered the Titanic, and you've been down there, I'm being told, on about 150 dives to the wreckage. Just want to get your take on the news that we're hearing breaking right now.
Well, I didn't make that many dives. I made the first 12 that were ever made on the Titanic. And then I went back with remotely operated vehicles last time in 2004. But yes, it's very tragic what happened. I know the people that passed away. I've known Stockton for 20 years, and I know this was his dream. So my heart goes out to he and his family and the families of all the people who lost loved ones. This tragic event more than likely took place on Sunday when they lost connection with the surface. More than likely, they, as they were experiencing difficulties, began to drop their weights and ascend to the surface. They never made it. So if you're on your way up and you're buoyant and you don't make it, it's a catastrophic implosion. And I don't think people can appreciate the amazing energy involved in the destructive process of an implosion. I've explored the Thresher and the Scorpion, which were two U.S. submarines. In the case of the Scorpion, ended up at a similar depth, and it just takes and literally shreds everything. So it's extremely powerful, and then that's what they'll be doing right now. They're now below the circulation system of the ocean in that area, so they'll do a systematic mapping. Those ROVs can remain. I have one just like it, the one over my shoulder. Hercules is on my ship. In fact, you can see in the image, I'm in my command center. My ship's at sea right now. Unfortunately, we were unable to help because we're in the Pacific Ocean, but it's a very similar technology. And the beauty of these remotely operated vehicles is they can stay down days and days and days. So they'll be mapping all through the night and into the next day until they believe they've done 100% systematic coverage of the wreck site. And then the analysis of that database will start to tell the larger story.
And Bob, since you are so familiar with the site of the wreckage and also these other submersible vehicles that go down and explore things like the Titanic, we've been reporting on, for a few years now, concerns over this specific vehicle, the carbon fiber titanium combination that essentially made up the shell of this, for lack of a better word. Did you have a sense initially when you first learned that the vehicle was lost that perhaps something catastrophic may have happened?
Well, you have to understand that we began taking vehicles into the deep sea with the historic dive of the Thresher, the Trieste in Challenger Deep in 1960. We've made thousands and thousands of dives with different vehicles, whether they're French, whether they're Russian, whether they're American, and we've never had ever in the history of these extreme deep diving programs ever lost a vehicle. So this is the first.
Hold up, y'all. I want to make sure that y'all heard that. Y'all. He said that has never happened before. He said that is the first. I hope y'all understand how crazy this is. He said that was the first. They've been going on thousands of expeditions like this since the 60s. We just don't be hearing about it. Because we ain't really supposed to be knowing about all that like that. The only reason why this made the news is because they ended up actually not making it back. That does not happen. This is a very, very, generally speaking, when you're looking at things, it's pretty safe in general terms, as far as compared to driving in a car on the highway, compared to different things like that. He said there's been many of them since the 60s, and this is the first time this ever happened, y'all. Y'all got to hear this, y'all. So that's why the CEO felt very secure by going on that thing. That's why those billionaires had no issue going on there. You know, even one of them brought their son on there and all kind of things like that. That was not supposed to happen. Why am I emphasizing that? Because I want y'all to see that what happened was supernatural. What happened was supernatural, y'all. All they should have been had to do if they lost contact is to let down their weights, and the submersible automatically floats to the top, y'all. They had enough air, S. McCorkle, to last for like 4 or 5 days. That's like more than enough. It takes about 2 hours to get to the, if I remember right, roughly 2 hours to get to the surface. And just to be extra safe, they have 4 days worth of emergency air supply. All they have to do on things like that, they float. Just let down the weights, and it goes up to the top, and you don't have to have, the motor can go out. You don't have to have none of that. Let down the weights, and it's gonna. That's the thing about the water. Oh, 90 hours worth? Okay, it was something like that. And then they float. Just think about it. They just put down the weights. They float to the top, and then somebody will find them doing the search and rescue, floating. Worst case scenario. You see what I'm saying? So no, that was not normal. They trying to make it. It's a reason, man. Y'all got to pay attention to what the news tries to do. There's a reason why they try to make it like, oh, they were so dumb. Oh, man, why that was stupid. Oh, yeah, it's because of the carbon fiber. That's why they were wrong for that. That shouldn't have did that, because that's why it did that. That was foolish. They used a remote control PlayStation for that. They just didn't know what they were doing. Not realizing them things been going down in the water like that for decades. Decades. And I know it wasn't exactly built the same way as that one, but they have enough research and information to know whether or not them things will be safe or not. That same submersible made it 2 other times before that one. That was its 3rd voyage with the PS2 controller, with the carbon fiber, whatever they said that they tried to claim was the reason why it blew up. All that. This was a supernatural occurrence that happened surrounding Juneteenth, right around Juneteenth. It was June 18th when they first found it missing, and then by Juneteenth is when the whole world knew about it. Roughly by Juneteenth is when it really hit, like mainstream news. That everything. Y'all got to look at everything when it comes to this stuff, y'all. This stuff be ruwackle, y'all. Let's see here.
Global. So we gotta find alternative ways and alternative things to do because the way there's a hole in the ozone layer, and
what they're trying to tell you, they know the Most High about to destroy the earth. They know that, so they try to mask it in global warming. Oh, it's because we drive too many cars. It's because this. There ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do to divert. You think to stop driving cars, that's gonna divert Yahuwah's judgment? Like, are you crazy? So you got rich people are already on top of this. Rich people, they are already like, why do y'all think Elon Musk is like this? Yeah, we're gonna do a space station in southern Texas. They trying to divert the judgment. They hoping at least the billionaires can get out. They hoping at least the billionaires can get out. They hoping at least the billionaires can get out. They hoping at least the billionaires can get out. Who got enough money to get on a spaceship or something? And Most High probably laughing. Most High probably laughing, man. It's the Tower of Babel all over again. It's the same thing. But yeah, basically, y'all. Basically, what I was just saying is that this map is showing, just giving you an idea of the vastness of the dominion that the European powers has over the nations, over the world, y'all. They pretty much control almost every part of the world. And this was on purpose. They're trying to be like Yahuwah. Trying to be like Yahuwah, trying to have dominion on the earth. That's something that is actually prophesied that Yahuwah will do through Yahusha and his people. This is what was prophesied that Yahuwah will do through Yahusha and his people. We'll have dominion on the earth. That will be a light to the nations. And so that's what's going on. So it's important, y'all, to make sure that in these last days that you repent and guarding the commands of Yahuwah. That you repent for anything you're doing. You're moving in any kind of sins, iniquities, transgressions. This ain't the time to be playing around with Yahuwah, y'all. Y'all repent and keep the laws in spirit and in truth in Yahusha. You can't just keep the laws without no ruach. You can't keep the laws without Yahusha. Don't get it twisted. Follow Yahuwah. Hold close to him. Keep your eyes fixed on him because that's how you'll be preserved. That's how you'll be preserved, y'all. Let's take a look at what y'all got here. Let's see if I missed anything. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom. Amar Yehuda said 250,000 to lose their life. Yeah, nobody gonna do that, Amar. Nobody gonna pay that. They thought it was safe. They thought it was safe. It's crazy though. That's crazy. Kenrick Lamarck Richardson said under the radar. Con. Cody Salah said piece of metal. Yeah, Yahuwah shouting. Yahusha's followers said, I don't even want to go swimming, but we wouldn't have heard anything. I didn't see any advertisement before their mishap. Yeah, that wasn't made for us to go on. There was a specific elite type of people who are searching for new land, searching for ways to subvert the judgment. That's who was on that submersible. Amar Yehuda said, Marine Kingdom ain't no joke. That's real. That's real talk. Kimberly Lamarck Richardson said 250,000 going to go to their deaths. Man. Yeah, that's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Donovan Miller said, praise you, Yah Yahuwah, for you all who teach the truth. I'm thankful for your courage, fortitude, and wisdom. Thank you, Yahuwah, for your children that serve you in Ruach and in truth. I pray divine protection over all. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yahusha. Kimberly Lamar Richardson said, it's amazing what taxpayer money goes to. Judgment is inevitable. Man, look here. It is, though. Pretty much, y'all know what y'all tax money go to? War and colonizing. That's why so much money was poured into NASA. Because NASA is about colonizing. It's about trying to find new places to go so they can have dominion in it's about trying to have dominion in heaven, dominion in the heavens. It's the Tower of Babel. That's what they were trying to do in the Tower of Babel. Amar Yehuda said Titan and Titanic both lost. Man. S. McCorkle said they do the most. Carl Meadows said Solomon as a name. Yeah, that dude was named Solomon Dawood, y'all. That's crazy. Solomon Dawood. S. McCorkle said lost treasures. Yeah, that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. Carl Meadows said they trying to connect to the Marine Kingdom, the fallen ones. That's exactly what it is. When you look at their history, you look at their track record and what their background is. That's real. That is real. Y'all own it, man. Y'all own it. Y'all are on it. Shalom, Wasina. Shalom, shalom to you. Shalom, Barakot. Let's see. Kimberly Lamar Richardson said, Adam was not made to dwell in the sea. Khan, that's real. S. McCorkle said, cannot freely breathe in either scenario. Man. Cody Saylor said, I find that interesting that two major movies this year, Black Panther and Avatar, focused on the water. That's real. Because I was just talking to the Mishpaka about that, how Black Panther was about the Marine Kingdom for sure. It was about a people who was able to go down into the water. What was happening? They were being oppressed. They were being oppressed by the European nations You saw like the Spanish, the Catholics and stuff was basically oppressing them, and so they went and somehow, the story of the Black Panther chapter part 2. They found a way to be able to build a kingdom under the waters, y'all. Man, these movies be trying to say something. Then you go to Avatar, and then you had the people who they were like a water kingdom. And why did they? Oh man, why did in the Avatar 2? Why did they go to the water kingdom? They were trying to dodge judgment. They were trying to dodge being subdued and destroyed by another nation that was trying to oppress them. The same thing on the Black Panther 2. So that's a very, very through correlation. Very great example. That's not by chance, y'all. Those movies came out at the same time, and I know that because I remember me and my fam went to we watched both of them in the movie theater, and we might have watched them maybe a couple of weeks apart from each other, if I remember. They was pretty close together. I remember that. Kendrick Lamar Richardson said they want to literally rebuild Atlantis. Okay. Yeah, I heard a little bit about it, but I'm not too familiar with that. I have to look into that. As McCorkle said, I thought they had a limited air supply. Oh, yeah, I remember we talked about that earlier. And, okay. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. So do anybody have any questions? I'll give it about another, 20, 30 seconds to see if anybody has any questions on what we just talked about. You need any clarification, I always like to do that. That's what I do with the Mishpaka as well. So the floor is open. Y'all bring out any questions that y'all have on what we just talked about or any thoughts. Give it about 20 to 30 seconds, and then we'll close. Any questions, y'all? Let's put it in the live chat. Anything else? Yehakanan said, since I've been following the Most High, I noticed that most movies represent scriptural themes and prophecies. Hey, Yehakanan, look here. Not only that, so think about the example that Okodi Selah just brought out. Black Panther. I don't know no Hebrew that look at Black Panther and don't see us in that movie. That movie is about us. Black Panther is about us. Wakanda, that's basically a fake Jerusalem. That's a made-up version of Jerusalem and the kingdom. Black Panther is about us. Avatar is about us. These are two movies that are clearly about us. What they do is they take a lot of times, think about it. Avatar was about a set-apart people that had their own kingdom, their own culture, their own identity, and then they dealt with basically being oppressed by the nations, and they were trying to get out of that. That's basically what Avatar about. Like even the Avatar people, like when you look, they were like some supernatural type people. They were super athletic. They were, it was about us, y'all. Y'all gotta. The first Avatar, y'all know all them actors those were black folks, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. That stuff is about us, fam. So when you see those two movies coming out at the same time, and they both are focused on the Marine Kingdom, know that that's not by chance. Know that there's something to that. But looks like I don't see any other questions, so we'll go ahead and close. Much ahava, y'all. Shalom abarakot. Told y'all I was trying to keep this kind of short to the point. But most high willing, I'm going to post a full thing that I did with the Mishpaka. We got into a whole lot more. Y'all will see that on the page. But shalom and ahava, y'all. Much ahava.
big to comprehend. You are infinite, you never end. You're too vast to ever know the greatest mystery the world will show. There's so many levels to you. Your complexity captivates me. I stand in awe of you. You're Yahuwah, the great I am. You're the great I am. You were there at the beginning, yet you stand at the end. You are all encompassing. You hold the world in your hand. There's no error in you. Your perfection is consistent. I live to worship you. You're Yahuwah, the great I am. Yes, you are the great I am, the great I am. And you are more than enough for me. 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 You're too big to comprehend. You are infinite, you never end. You're too vast to ever know the greatest mystery the world will show. There's so many levels to you. Your complexity captivates me. I stand in awe of you. You're Yahuwah, the great I am. You're the great I am. You were there at the beginning, yet you stand at the end. You are all encompassing. You hold the world in your